Hi, here at Team Believe It, we believe every question has an answer, every problem has a solution, and everything is possible. Please subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, and share these videos with everyone you know. By the way, we saved the best tip at the end of the video. Now, for today's topic. Let's try to understand what happens to debt after someone passes away. Debt management is a crucial aspect of financial planning, yet it is often overlooked. Understanding the process can help individuals make informed decisions about their finances and estate planning. Chapter 2. Basic concepts of debt and estate. Debt is money borrowed by one party from another, typically under the agreement that it will be paid back over time with interest. A debt can be secured, which are backed by collaterals such as mortgages and auto loans. Unsecured debts are just the opposite. These are not backed by collateral like credit card debts and personal loans. An estate includes all the assets and liabilities left by a person at the time of their death. Assets include property, investments, cash, and personal belongings. Liabilities are debts, mortgages, loans, and unpaid taxes. The executor is the individual or institution appointed to manage the estate, according to the deceased's will. Some of the executor's duties are valuing the estate, paying off debts and taxes, and distributing the remaining assets to the beneficiaries. Chapter 3. What is the legal process of handling debt after death? Let's talk about the probate process. Probate is the legal process through which a deceased person's will is validated and their estate is distributed. Here are the steps in probate. First, filing the will. The executor files the will with the probate court. Second, inventorying assets and debts. The executor lists all assets and debts. Third, paying debts and taxes. The executor uses the estate's assets to pay off debts and taxes. Fourth, distributing the remaining assets. The executor distributes what remains to the beneficiaries. Now that we understand the basic definitions, let's now talk about our topic on hand. Chapter 4. What happens to different types of debt? Secured debts, such as mortgages and car loans, must be paid off or refinanced, or the asset may be repossessed or sold to cover the debt. Unsecured debt, like credit card debt and personal loans, is paid from the estate's assets. If the estate lacks sufficient funds, the debt may be written off by the lender. Next, let's talk about joint debt and cosigners. Joint debt. If a debt was jointly held, for example, joint credit cards or loans, the surviving borrower becomes fully responsible for the debt. Cosigned loans. The cosigner is legally obligated to repay the debt if the primary borrower dies. Chapter 5. Exceptions and special considerations. In community property states like California and Texas, assets and debts acquired during the marriage are generally considered jointly owned. This means the surviving spouse may be responsible for debts incurred during the marriage. Life insurance and debt. Life insurance payouts typically pass directly to the beneficiaries and are not subject to probate. However, life insurance payouts can be used by beneficiaries to pay off the deceased's debts. How about retirement accounts and debt? Well, 401 KEEs and IRAs usually have named beneficiaries and are not part of the probate process. They typically cannot be claimed by creditors for debt repayment unless the estate is named as the beneficiary. Let's talk about student loans. Federal student loans are generally discharged or forgiven upon the borrower's death. Private student loans, on the other hand, may or may not be discharged depending on the lender's policy. Some lenders pursue repayment from the estate or a cosigner. Chapter 6. The impact on survivors. Let's start with the spouses and partners. Generally, spouses are not responsible for individual debts unless they co-signed or live in a community property state. Shared debts, however, like joint credit cards, must be paid by the surviving spouse. How about the children and heirs? Children and other heirs are not typically responsible for the deceased's debts. They inherit only what remains after the estate's debts are paid. What can debt collectors and survivors do? Debt collectors can only seek payment from the estate, not from the deceased's relatives, unless they are responsible for the debt. Survivors have rights under the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, or FDCPA, to protect against harassment. Chapter 7. Planning ahead. First, creating a will. A well-drafted will can simplify the probate process and ensure debts are managed according to your wishes. The will must have the following components: appointment of an executor, instructions for asset distribution, and provisions for debt payment. Second, estate planning strategies. Trusts can help manage assets and potentially avoid probate. Trusts can be revocable or irrevocable and have varying impacts on debt management. Beneficiary designations. ensure that beneficiary designations on life insurance, retirement accounts, and other assets are up to date. Designating beneficiaries can help assets bypass probate and directly reach the intended recipients. For insurance and debt, life insurance can be used to cover outstanding debts, ensuring that heirs receive a debt-free inheritance, while long-term care insurance helps manage healthcare costs, potentially reducing the financial burden on the estate. Chapter 8. Conclusion. Debt doesn't simply disappear upon death, it must be settled through the estate. Different types of debt have varying implications for the estate and survivors. Proper estate planning can minimize the financial impact on loved ones. Understanding what happens to debt after death is crucial for effective financial and estate planning. Taking proactive steps now can protect your loved ones from financial stress in the future. As always, here at Team Believe It, we believe every question has an answer, every problem has a solution, and everything is possible. Please subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, and share these videos with everyone you know. Thank you.